It's time for a curler confession. I confess to you that I have struggled with anxiety my entire life, from the time I was a little girl well into adulthood. I confess I have done things to try to avoid feeling anxiety, things like overeat or maybe have a second or third glass of wine, all in an attempt to not have to feel anxiety. The problem with that is that it doesn't really work. It feels like it's working in the moment because temporarily you feel better, but the moment you're not engaged with that avoidance activity, the anxious feelings come rushing back. I've learned much healthier ways to deal with anxiety. I want to share some of that with you today. I listened to a podcast. It's called the Life Coach School Podcast by Brooke Castillo, and she's fantastic. And she recorded one on overcoming anxiety. She says that when we are in an anxious tailspin, we have a couple of options. One thing we can do is resist the anxiety. And that's when we sort of fight against the anxiety. Like, I'm not going to feel this. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm not anxious. And then we grow more anxious and we get anxious about being anxious. The other thing we can do is react to it, act it out. For me, the way that plays out oftentimes, unfortunately, is, getting short-tempered with my kids or yelling at my kids when they don't deserve that. The next thing we can do is avoid it. I mentioned that. We all have avoidance techniques. But the next option, and this is what she suggests we do, meditation teachers suggest this as well, is to actively accept the feelings of anxiety, to allow the feelings of anxiety. It seems counterintuitive. I know that sounds scary and yucky, like I'm just going to let the feelings of anxiety come over me. But what she suggests, Brooke Castillo suggests we do, is look at our thoughts. She says that our thoughts cause our feelings. So if we're feeling anxious, take a moment to really look at what it is that you're thinking about. If you're thinking you don't have enough money, you'll never lose weight, you'll never find love, your kids are losers, whatever you're thinking, it's like, well, no wonder I feel anxious. Look at the things I'm thinking. Meditation teaches us that we are the observer of our thoughts. We are not our thoughts, we're the observer of our thoughts. That helps to create some distance between you and what it is that you're thinking. And when you can acknowledge these thoughts and these feelings without reacting, you kind of interrupt the flow of anxiety when you can separate yourself. It might feel worse before it feels better, but what this allows you to do when you allow and accept the anxiety is realize that you're capable of feeling your feelings, even the unpleasant ones. It helps you to gain a new perspective, create a little distance between you and the thing that you're thinking. And a lot of times the thoughts that you're having that are creating the anxious feelings, they're not even true. They're things that you're making up. And anxiety thrives on catastrophizing the future. And a lot of things we're thinking aren't even true or never even happen. So many of us live in states of anxiousness, but our lives fare much better when we live in states of joy and contentment and gratitude. So we have to bring ourselves back to that. I am grateful that you listened to my curler confession today. Here's to a peaceful day free of anxiety. But if it does creep up, just allow it. You're going to be okay. You can feel it. Remember to create some distance between you and what you're thinking.